Ryan Gerdusky, and we try and convince him that he's really a conservative. He thinks he's a libertarian, so just don't tell him, okay? Because I'm not going to tell him, so you don't tell him.
He can hear you.
Oh, well, we weren't going to.
You think I'm a libertarian? Is that what you said?
No, I said you think you're a libertarian.
I'm not. I will never say I'm a libertarian.
Oh.
Those people are crazy. It's like living in California. They're out of their mind.
So the first thing I have to ask you, I'm completely not doing anything Jason told me to do, for the record. So if Jason told you,
great.
if Jason told you we're talking about certain things, I'm completely in my own world today, and many days. So the first thing I want to ask you is Chris Christie. Now, you know, you and I talk about Chris Christie, and I know you're a big fan, or at least you were, and I just want to know if his antics over the last couple of weeks of being a complete out-to-lunch person has had any bearing on your love
What has
of
he
Chris
done?
Christie.
What has he been out to lunch on?
He was. What did he do just last week that I thought, okay, now Ryan's going to get it that Chris Christie is not. I can't think. We'll come back to that.
Was he on the shore? I know he was on the Jersey Shore last week.
Oh, you're
but
kidding.
I don't think he was.
I didn't even know that. No, it was.
I mean, I follow him on Twitter,
something.
and
no, was it on Syria? Is he wrong on Syria? Yeah.
What did he say?
You know what? Maybe you should go with the stuff that I told you to talk about.
I don't know his
having so much
position.
more fun with this.
I don't know his position on Syria. Listen to me. I don't think Christie's right on every issue. I think that he's very eccentric on his policy issues. I still like him a lot, and at the end of the day, if I had to choose between President Chris Christie with a Republican leader, with a Republican Senate and a Republican House, or President Hillary Clinton, I will choose a President Chris Christie.
Yeah, well,
because I think he's the only one who could win.
But I mean, most of us would still choose a President John McCain over a Hillary Clinton, so that's not really.
I don't
saying
know.
a lot.
John McCain's really crazy.
But he's not as crazy as Hillary.
I know. I think John McCain might actually end up going to Syria and just fighting himself. I mean, I think that they sat there and there was a Mother Jones, the liberal magazine. I think that they put us together a list of nations that, like, John McCain wanted to bomb, and it was 1/3 of the world's population.
Yeah, well, I saw a poll that said that something like 49% of Americans would support Congress going ahead and going to Syria and fighting. We think that would be a great idea.
I think that would be fantastic. I think actually between John McCain and Lindsey Graham, they might enjoy it. I mean, although Janet Napolitano would really kick some ass. I mean, I can say that word. Sorry. She would really, be a tough one because, she looks like she's spent a lot of time in a bowling alley and maybe got into a fist fight or two. So.
All right. So, did you hear the story about this woman breastfeeding, arrested for breastfeeding on a was it a moped?
Yeah, it was a moped.
On a moped. Because I know you're a liberty-loving guy, and I am. I nursed my children publicly. I didn't just whip it out there in a restaurant or something, but I had a blanket. And then kids, once they get to be about 9 months old, they're notorious for ripping the blanket off because they don't really like that blanket in their way while they're trying to get to their food. And so, those things, that happens. So I'm a big, huge breastfeeding
Did you say
supporter.
9 months old or 9 years old?
9 months. No,
okay,
I did not. I stopped by the time.
I was wondering if this is breastfeeding you did yesterday in public. I wasn't sure. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Lida is weaned. Thank you. So this little woman that was, I don't know why I said little woman, this woman that was breastfeeding on her moped, the libertarian in you, I don't think we should have to wear helmets if we are insured, fully insured. I think that our wearing helmets is up to us, and it's not for any government to mandate. But I wanted to ask you what you thought about this.
How safe is it for the baby to be breastfeeding on a moped?
Well, if the baby is legal to ride on the moped, however the baby was, then I suppose...
I'm just saying, with the moped, it's only 2 wheels. I mean, is the baby wearing a helmet? I think that there's got to be something. There has to be something. I think that that's distracted driving at least. I mean, driving a moped while having a baby breastfeed, I've seen a lot of strange things. I've been born and raised in New York. But, I mean, the subway system at night is really a terrifying place. I cannot imagine someone being able to balance a baby breastfeeding on a moped. But there's something wrong with that. If she were to fall over, that's the end of that child. It's over. I mean, and that's distracted driving, at least for other drivers,
Right.
Hey,
okay.
honey, what are you looking at? Oh, there's a lady's boob out the window. I mean, am I wrong?
I don't know. I don't know. I wanted to get your take on it. Here's another one. Now this got a little attention actually. I posted. I think I tweeted this early this morning. Schools sending fat letters home to parents about their overweight children. I had a lot of people saying, "Hey, you know, being fat is unhealthy. I'm already paying too much for these government subsidized schools and kids, and I think." Schools sending fat letters home to the parents is absolutely fine. My take on it was it's none of the school's business a child's weight. What do you say?
Right. Well, you know, it's just funny. It's the same schools that probably, you know, allow teachers who, you know, molest their children and send fat letters home later.
Yeah.
No, it's none of the school's business to sit there and send fat letters home. That's ridiculous.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we got the final authority on that as well. All right. Then, so I don't know if you read. Daily Caller today, Iran threatens brutal attacks on Americans. The Obama family threatened an actual rape and killing of one of Obama's daughters should the United States attack Syria. Of course, we all know that no one could ever get within 1,000 feet of any of Obama's daughters because they have the best armed security in the entire world, I'm sure. But I guess, I don't know, what do you make of all this?
Well, there was a part 2 to this, and they also threatened to take off Michelle Obama's weave, which I thought was even worse. No, it's an empty threat. I mean, you know, that's the crazy man who sits by the garbage pail with it on fire, sitting there and saying that he's going to, you know, kill the whole neighborhood. I don't put a lot of faith in it. I think that it's probably an empty threat, and Obama really screwed this up.
Yeah.
I mean, really screwed this up. The House of Representatives already reached past 217 with the number of representatives who said they're going to vote no on an attack in Syria.
Mm-hmm.
I think that someone should take that red mark away from him at this point.
Yeah, maybe so. All right, so let me ask you this. So here we have another kind of bizarre thing that I wanted to ask you about. Now, British twins who'd been separated at birth, they learned that they were related only after they had become husband and wife. This according to a senior British lawmaker, CNN reporting. So the courts annulled the marriage as soon as the twins' true relationship became known, and I think that they actually sought that annulment. And so what do you think of all this?
Well, I do know that my friend did tell me this, that people, they were separated at birth. So I heard that if twins are separated at birth and they meet each other later on, they become extremely attracted to one another. And I don't know why or how that is, but there were studies that prove this. Were they Polish twins to marry each other, though? Immediately? I mean, it's really, I think that's got to be one awkward conversation afterwards. They didn't have no children, they didn't have children, right?
Not that I can see.
Okay. I mean, children with 3 eyeballs at that point.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, and if they had twins, it'd be even worse. I feel very bad. It's really, I mean, imagine sitting there and meeting the love of your life, getting married, everything's happy, and then he's your secret brother.
You know what I
it's out of a soap opera.
I just figured out what happened. They got married. They didn't really like each other that much. So then they're thinking, how can we get out of this and still look okay? Well, we're twins, separated at birth, and they, got it annulled. Hey, I think this is
Well, there are some implications here, of course, in terms of how much can people know about when they're adopted, and also.
I can tell you, I tried getting married once. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
But you didn't come up with a creative answer like, oh, by the way, she's my twin.
I know, I'm jealous. I wish I'd come up with something better.
Don't you meet people like that, and they sit there and say, oh, I lost 80 pounds because I have this disease, and I'm like, oh, or they gain 80 pounds. They said, I wish I would have made up that disease. The disease no one ever heard of. Oh, that's why I'm fat now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there were 2 twins that married 2 twins that had twins today. That did happen. 2 twins.
It has to happen in the middle of the country somewhere.
Twins?
I mean, that's where no one has cable.
It could be. I don't know where it happened, but that actually did happen. I heard about that today. All right. What is happening in the exciting New York? You guys always have some great pervert stories. We pretty much we pretty much solved ours here. So what do you all do?
I know Filner's out. Is Filner out officially? That's happened.
Yeah, and we had, I don't know if you read in WorldNet Daily, but we had the 19th accuser ready to go here.
I mean, this man has too much free time on his hands. How do you even? I mean, I have some downtime, but I couldn't even get 19 molestations done in his time. I mean, he was a very quick guy. I mean,
he's had what 70 some years to practice here.
Oh, they weren't all. I thought they were all like in like a couple months of each other.
No.
No, they weren't. Not the women that came out. But come on, you know that a thief getting caught, he doesn't ever get caught the first time. And if 19 women came out, there were probably 1,900 women out there.
Right. Elvis Presley, one time they asked Elvis how many women he ever slept with, and he said if I actually slept with how many people I was people told that I slept with, I would still be recovering. So I don't know if all 19 actually did it, but if
these were just mostly sexual harassment charges.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's got a lot of downtime. I mean, I think that there should be more work for the mayor of San Diego than being able to do all that. And he was a congressman before that, so he had a lot of free time.
Yes.
In New York, we have the election coming up. The primary is coming up on Tuesday, which is really exciting because I think that Bill de Blasio, the Democrat, who is the most left-wing, hardcore left-wing, is going to come in first place, which is terrifying for New Yorkers, but hopefully the moderate Democrats who have, made sure that, I know Bloomberg's not a big fan of yours, but Bloomberg did continue the Giuliani laws to make the city safe.
Wait, Bloomberg's not a fan of mine?
No, you're not a fan of Bloomberg.
I thought Bloomberg loved me in my double gulps. I really thought he did.
He just wants to take those high heel boots that have the guns on them away from you, and your big drink. But
yes.
But the election's coming up pretty soon, and we'll see who comes out, smelling like roses and who comes out bad. I think that the biggest shocker is that if there's a runoff, and in New York you need to hit 40% to have a runoff, I think Christine Quinn, who was kind of like the Hillary Clinton of this mayoral race, she was the inevitable winner. She's been playing it very, very cautious. I think she's going to come in third, and she's going to lose miserably. And she was supposed to be New York's first openly gay mayor, but I think that her career is pretty much over, and mostly it's because of her very close ties to Michael Bloomberg. But more interesting than that, what is going on in Virginia? I think you have listeners from Virginia, right?
Sure.
What is going on with Ken Cuccinelli? The man is losing Terry McAuliffe by 7 points in the new poll today, and Terry McAuliffe is practically a criminal. I mean, the man is sitting there saying how he's going to, use his government connections and sell access to the government. This man, and he's winning.
People have a short memory. People don't remember that stuff.
It's just, I can't believe that they are going to elect this Clintonian, Democrat who... yes, people have a short memory, but he really is out there. And, Ken Cuccinelli is like a lifetime. I think Ken Cuccinelli is like the greatest candidate in the world. And he either needs to fire his staff or he needs to do something radical, because down 7 points to this man is really, 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 sad state, especially if they had that big scandal with that Democrat in Virginia who was caught in the bed with a 15-year-old.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to watch, certainly. So at your primary, Susan, what is going to happen to Weiner now? Is he just going to go merrily on down the stream?
No, Anthony Weiner? I think he'll run for governor. I don't know. I hope Weiner runs for almost anything. I really do. I hope he primaries Hillary Clinton in 2016. I want, every time a Democrat is up, I want Weiner there. Just to...
But who would Uma work for? If it was
Huma.
Who would Huma work for?
Yeah,
they're wealthy on their own. She has got her oil connections or something like that. She doesn't have to work.
That's right.
But Anthony Weiner, though, selling his connections as a lobbyist, made like $500,000 that year that he was not a congressman. So he'll be fine. I want him to constantly run for office all the time. I want him to constantly be in the public eye, because I think honestly, though, I mean, couldn't you see him have his own reality show? Like Duck Duck Dynasty and then What's Up with Weiner. I mean, right after each other.
Oh.
They actually asked me, and this is great, they had a debate, and they asked people if they text while driving, and they asked Anthony Weiner, and just the crowd, burst out laughing. I mean, didn't even say anything to give an answer out.
Oh, Ryan, you keep us laughing. Thank you so much for being on the show again.
Absolutely. Anytime,
and we'll be excited to hear about what happens there on Tuesday, so you keep us posted.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right. All the best, my friend. Coming up, I am going to tell you about this twin wedding because it is almost unbelievable, and I think you need to know about it also. a little guy who unfortunately and sadly died.